Kasidi Mnyepe, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation in the United Republic of Tanzania, senior officials from Sadc member states, excellencies, ambassadors and high commissioners from Sadc member states, the deputy executive secretaries of Sadc Secretariat, heads of regional economic communities present here, Sadc Secretariat staff, representatives from the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. Good morning, bonjour, bon dia, and in the United Republic of Tanzania we say habari za asubuhi. Karibu. You are welcome to the official opening session of the Southern African Development Community Council of Ministers meeting. My name is Barbara Lopi from the Sadc Secretariat. My humble role this morning is to direct this official opening session. Our program will be as follows. We will have remarks from the Sadc Executive Secretary, which will be followed by the remarks, opening remarks from the chairperson of the Sadc Council, Honorable Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah. And at the end of the chairperson's remarks, we will be witnessing the exchanging of the chairship from the Republic of Namibia to the United Republic of Tanzania. So, for the benefit of people who are here for the first time, allow me just to say a little bit about the Sadc Council of Ministers. This committee plays a major role in overseeing the functioning and development of Sadc and to ensure that Sadc agreed policies and decisions are implemented accordingly. The Council consists of ministers from each of the Sadc member states who are from ministries responsible for foreign affairs, international relations or cooperation, economic planning, trade and finance. Having said that, let me now call upon the Executive Secretary of Sadc, Her Excellency Dr. Stegomena Lawrence Tax, to deliver her remarks.
Honorable Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation of the Republic of Namibia and Chairperson of Council of Ministers, Honorable Professor Parapagamba John Aidan Mwaluko Kabudi, Minister of Foreign Affairs and the East African Cooperation of the United Republic of Tanzania, and the incoming chair, obviously, but our host, honorable ministers present here, chairperson of the Senior Committee of Officials, Dr. Faraji Kasidi Mnyepe, deputy executive secretaries, senior officials from Sadc member states, your excellencies, ambassadors and high commissioners, and members of the diplomatic corps, invited guests, secretariat staff, partners from the media, ladies and gentlemen, habarini za asubuhi na karibuni Tanzania. A very good morning and welcome to the United Republic of Tanzania. That is not my role, will be done by the host. But being here, I thought maybe I can also extend that welcome. It is a great honor to stand before you and deliver some remarks. Allow me to begin by thanking the government and people of the United Republic of Tanzania for the warm welcome extended to us all since our arrival in this great city of Dar es Salaam, harbor of peace. Indeed, we feel at peace. May I also thank you, honorable ministers, for finding time in your busy schedules to attend this meeting. From the onset, allow me to express our deepest condolences to the government and people of the United Republic of Tanzania and the families affected by the unfortunate fuel tanker accident on the 10th of August 2019 in Morogoro, which claimed the lives of, now I'm told, is over 75 people, and they injured more than 80 people. We stand in solidarity with the government and the United Republic of Tanzania. May the souls of the departed rest in eternal peace. Amen. During the meeting, this meeting will witness the Republic of Namibia handing over the chairmanship of the United Republic of to the United Republic of Tanzania. Under the leadership of Namibia, the region recorded tangible progress in a number of areas, as will be showcased during your meeting today. Allow me to express our sincere gratitude to the Chairperson of Council, Honorable Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of International Relations and Cooperation of the Republic of Namibia, for her guidance and dedication to push forward the Sadc development and integration agenda. We thank you very much, Madam Deputy Prime Minister, and the government of Namibia for executing the mandate of the chairperson of our region with passion and purpose. A number of activities were carried out during the year, some of which needed immediate action at difficult moments. The Republic of Namibia and yourself, Madam, were always there for the region. We thank you very much for that. Honorable Ministers, in implementing the 38th Sadc Summit theme, promoting infrastructure, youth empowerment, and sustainable development, the key focus was on amplification of youth voices and the central element of the Sadc Youth Forum. The Sadc Youth Forum, represented by the Namibia National Youth Council, participated in a number of meetings, but of particular importance is the meeting of ministers responsible for youth, which was held in May 2019 in Windhoek, Namibia, where the youth outlined developmental issues affecting them, including high youth unemployment and low representation in key decision-making structures. The youth called upon Sadc policymakers to prioritize interventions targeting quality education and skills development in line with the current labor market and entrepreneurship needs, taking into account the rapid technological transformations. The youth also underscored their call to be included in the decision-making processes, both at regional and national levels, so that their energies and talents are channeled towards supporting development within the established processes and structures. It is gratifying to report that, under the chairmanship of Namibia, Sadc Ministers of Youth considered a draft conceptual framework on promoting youth innovation, entrepreneurship, leadership, and participation in Sadc. The conceptual framework establishes the basis for mainstream youth development and empowerment in Sadc agenda. The framework will be tabled for your consideration during this meeting, and it is expected that once approved, the framework will streamline youth development and empowerment into your regional effort through a comprehensive Sadc Youth Development Program. This is a commendable achievement that was attained, among others, during the year. Honorable Ministers, Sadc region remain seized with the implementation of the Sadc industrialization strategy and roadmap and its action plan. Notable achievements during the year include, first, the development of the draft protocol on industry, which aims to promote the development of diversified innovative and globally competitive regional and national industrial bases as the missing link since the adoption of the industrialization strategy in Harare 2015. The draft will be presented during your meeting for consideration. Secondly, the finalization of a long-awaited profiling of the regional agro-processing value chains study was also completed, whereby 14 product-specific value chains were selected for their high potential to upgrade and develop the region for increased inter-regional trade and integration into global value chains. This is the third value chain profile study to be completed since the adoption of the Sadc industrialization strategy. The other two, as you are aware, Honorable Ministers, pharmaceutical value chain and mineral mineral and pharmaceutical value chain profiling studies. While these studies seek to establish priority value chains that have the potential to increase inter-regional trade and integration into global value chains, their success is reliant on a conducive business environment, which include facilitative hard and soft infrastructures, affordable energy, conducive policy and legal frameworks. Investment from the private sector is also very critical. To this effect, joint efforts are needed between public and private sector. This requires all interventions under the three pillars of industrialization, namely industrialization, competitiveness, and regional integration pillars, to be implemented in a coherent manner. As presented in your report, Honorable Ministers, a number of milestones which were to be achieved during phase one of the industrialization strategy, which covers 2015-2020, are yet to be completed. Out of the 15 outputs that are aligned to the first phase of the strategy, only 5 have been completed, 46 are ongoing, and 7 are yet to be undertaken. This is a clear demonstration that efforts are therefore required at national and regional levels, as these outputs are to be carried out at both levels. If indeed we were to achieve and realize the objectives of the industrialization, we cannot remain and maintain the status. We need to and understand why some of these activities are yet to be implemented and what needs to be done. Otherwise, we'll be singing the song of industrialization, but progress will be very minimal. Third, the establishment of the Business Council, which was also officially launched here on the 5th of August 2019 during the Sadc Industrialization Week that was held here, as I've indicated. This is expected to enhance cooperation among private sector in the region and public sector as well, and establish a closer public-private sector cooperation in the technological and economic transformation of Sadc economies, and thus push forward the Sadc industrialization agenda. The establishment of the Sadc Business Council is commendable. May I call upon private sector to utilize this platform not only for their benefit, the benefit of their business interest, but also for the benefit of Sadc citizens, and in doing so, be a contributing partner to the Sadc integration and the development agenda. The fourth major milestone under industrialization is the development of a regional mining vision, which among others aims at optimizing the sustainable development of mineral resource extraction across the region. The vision is anchored on the tenets of a continental African mining vision. These are just some of the milestones under the implementation of the Sadc industrialization strategy, but there are a number of other achievements as will be seen in the reports before to be tabled during your meeting. While noting and celebrating the progress made, we need to redouble our efforts so as to realize the desired results of the Sadc industrialization agenda. As I have indicated, yes, we have made progress, but still we need to catch up. The Secretariat remains seized with the implementation of the Sadc industrialization strategy and to ensure that industrialization remain at the center of the Sadc integration agenda. Honorable Ministers, with regards to infrastructure development as one of the pillars of the revised Regional Indicative Strategic Development Plan 2015-2020 and a catalyst to the industrialization agenda, notable achievements were made in various sectors covering energy, transport, water, and ICT. In relation to energy, the region was able to commission about 4,175 megawatts from Angola, Malawi, Mozambique, Namibia, South Africa, Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. The target is to commission 4,883 megawatts in 2019-2020. That is this year, and we have been able to commission some, and we need to make sure that the balance is also realized. The Tanzania-Zambia interconnector is at its construction phase, while 8 regional transmission projects are at feasibility study. Altogether, this project will provide the necessary impetus for the realization of our industrialization agenda. In the water sector, progress was also recorded, whereby the Kunene Transboundary Water Project Phase 1, involving Angola and Namibia, was completed, while construction for the Romohasha-Namacha Cross-Border Water Supply Project, covering Eswatini, the Kingdom of Eswatini, and Mozambique, is ongoing. Furthermore, a feasibility study for the Chirundu Cross-Border Water Supply Project, involving Zimbabwe and Zambia, is expected to be completed during this month. Honorable Ministers, SADC intra-SADC trade slowed over the period 2016-2017 and 2017-2018, owing mainly to difficult macroeconomic conditions experienced in the region. Intra-SADC imports as percentage of total imports declined by 0.9 percentage from 21.5 to 20.6%, where intra-SADC export as a percentage of the total intra-SADC export declined by 2.3 percentage point from 24.7 to 22.4%. So this also calls for immediate intervention. Indeed, we have challenges, but we need to address those challenges and to ensure that we remain on course. In March and April this year, several of our member states, namely Comoros, Malawi, Mozambique, South Africa, and Zimbabwe, were heavily affected by tropical cyclones Idai and Kenneth, resulting in an unprecedented loss of lives and livelihoods and damage of socio-economic infrastructure. We were caught unprepared for disasters of such magnitude. The drought situation experienced during 2018-2019 agricultural season will also exacerbate the food security situation in the region. The Southern Africa Regional Climate Outlook Forum will soon meet to forecast the weather and climate for the coming agricultural season. May I therefore call upon Member States to use the information disseminated through the forum, but also through the SADC Climate Service Center, to prepare adequately for any outcome of the rain season as will be projected. While our response for the disaster caused by tropical cyclone was generally found wanting, allow me to express our profound appreciation to the chairperson of SADC and Council for the guidance that led to the launch of the SADC Regional Humanitarian Appeal in response of Cyclone Idai, and to the SADC member states that were prompt in responding to this disaster by sending aircrafts, rescue teams, and other supplies to the affected countries. This indeed is a demonstration of solidarity and unity of our organization. May I also inform you that SADC has taken the lessons learned from the disaster very seriously, and in this regard, the Secretariat is in the process of operationalizing the disaster risk preparedness and response strategy and the SADC Disaster Fund. The Ministerial Committee of the Organ on Police, Defense and Security Cooperation has also recommended to Council to reactivate the Committee of Ministers of Disaster Management and a response to provide an avenue for dealing with disaster management in the region in a more effective manner. The proposal will also be tabled for your consideration. Honorable Ministers, the region has remained peaceful and stable during the year. 6 member states, namely the Kingdom of Eswatini, Democratic Republic of Congo, Republic of Madagascar, and the Unions of Comoros, and the Republics of Malawi and South Africa held elections. Allow me to congratulate the respective member states and government for the credible and peaceful elections and for upholding Sadc democratic principles. As I conclude my remarks, I wish to thank the Deputy Executive Secretaries and the entire Secretariat team for their continued support and dedication toward achieving the objectives of Sadc. I also extend my gratitude to Sadc member states for the support throughout the year in the implementation of Sadc activities. In addition, let me appreciate the support we continue to receive from our cooperating partners. May I also express our gratitude to the senior officials under the leadership of the chairperson of the senior officials, Dr. Farij Kasidi Mnyepe, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, and the Sadc Secretariat, the Sadc Secretariat organizing team supported by the Minister of External Affairs and East African Cooperation for the hard work and the dedication that enabled successful preparation for your meeting. May I at this juncture welcome the incoming chairperson of Council of Ministers, Professor Parapaganda Kabudi, Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation of the United Republic of Tanzania. Honorable Minister, be assured of the Secretariat's commitment to support you in facilitating your work as you assume the chairmanship and throughout the tenure as our incoming chairperson. May I wish this meeting fruitful deliberation. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Muito obrigado. Asante sana.
Thank you, Dr. Tax, Executive Secretary of Sadc. At this point, I'll now be calling upon the Sadc Chairperson of the Council of Ministers, Honorable Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of International Relations and Cooperation in the Republic of Namibia, to give their opening remarks.
Thank you, Director of Ceremonies, Honorable Paramagamba Kaudi, Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation of the United Republic of Tanzania, and incoming Chair of Sadc Council of Ministers, Honorable Joseph Malanji, Foreign Minister of the Republic of Zambia and Chairperson of the Ministerial Committee of the organ, Honorable Ministers, Dr. Stogmena Lawrence Tax, Executive Secretary of Sadc, Deputy Executive Secretaries, the Chairperson of the senior officials, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners and members of Diplomatic Corps, representatives of regional and international organizations, Sadc senior officials, delegates from all Sadc member states, Sadc Secretariat officials, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. The Sadc family has learned with sadness of the tragic fuel tank accident in Morogoro, the United Republic of Tanzania, on the 10th August 2019 that claimed over 75 lives and injured many more. On behalf of the Sadc Council of Ministers, and indeed on my own behalf, we wish to express our deepest condolence to the government and the people of the United Republic of Tanzania, and particularly the bereaved families. We sympathize and remain in solidarity with the government and the people of the United Republic of Tanzania during this difficult time. May I, honorable ministers and delegates, ask all of us to rise and observe a minute of silence in memory of those who have lost their lives due to this accident. Attention. May their lives rest in eternal peace. Can we might sit down? Honorable ministers, distinguished delegates, I feel honored to welcome you all to the Council of Ministers meeting taking place in this historical city of Dar es Salaam, a place of peace. I hope, like me, you all feel home away from home. For me, having served in this country, the United Republic of Tanzania, as the SWAP chief representative in the 80s, Dar es Salaam is indeed my home. And when I'm here, it brings back the memories of Mwalimu Nyerere, a true Pan-Africanist, the one who continues to aspire us today. For me, Mwalimu only knew me as Mama wa SWAPO, and that is what remains a guiding principle to all of us as we continue to move our region and our continent ahead to realize the integration and to achieve Africa we want. Honorable ministers, let me therefore take this opportunity on behalf of the Council of Ministers to extend our thanks and appreciation to the government and the people of the United Republic of Tanzania for the warm welcome and hospitality extended to us since our arrival and the favorable facilities put at our disposal. Honorable ministers, as we all know, SADC is in the process of realigning its strategic plan and renewing its priorities to ensure that they have relevance to the challenges faced in our region and to be aligned and to align our programs to our continental aspiration. That is to say, as we prepare for the next phase of renewal of our regional indicative strategic development plan and the SIPO 2020-2030, we also realign the SADC Regional Vision 2050 to speak to the Continental Development Agenda 2063. Industrialization remains at the core of the integration of agenda of SADC and central to the diversification of regional economic growth. We therefore need to prioritize trade facilities, with regard to roads infrastructure, such as roads, rail, harbor, among others. We have also to find ways of reducing transport costs and transit delay of goods. All this is also necessary to prepare our region to benefit from the African Continental Free Trade Area. In this regard, I would like to inform that on 2nd August 2019, Namibia inaugurated the new container terminal of the Walvis Bay Harbor with a capacity to handle 750,000 tons of 20-feet containers. The inauguration of Walvis Bay Port is based on Namibia's aim for the port to become a preferable Western Coast port for Southern and Central Africa logistics operations, which will facilitate access to international market by granting landlocked countries access to the Atlantic Ocean, by creating easier and faster transit between Africa, Europe, Asia, and Americans. In the course of this year, our region faced serious severe climatic challenges, namely tropical cyclone Desmond, Anawa, Idai, and Kenneth, that caused extensive flooding in countries like Comoros, Mozambique, Tanzania, Madagascar, Malawi, and Zimbabwe, causing many deaths, injury, and destruction of infrastructures and cropland. I wish to express sincere appreciation to Sadc member states for their prompt, effective, and generous response in providing humanitarian assistance to the affected countries. Honorable Ministers, as climate change is real and our region is vulnerable to it, we have to put in place strong early warning mechanism and mitigation and adaptation measures, as that will be the only way we will be able to cope up with the impact of climate change. The 38th Sadc Summit was held under the theme Promoting Infrastructure Development and Youth Empowerment for Sustainable Development. Youth is the most vulnerable asset we have in our region if our region is to be industrialized, and we need to make sure it is well taken care of. In operationalization the theme, programs and activities across all sectors were organized with emphasis on youth empowerment and youth entrepreneurship. The program also emphasized the need to ensure that in implementing this program, we also implement the Sadc Regional Program on Youth Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and to make it a priority in order to ensure the sustainability and the full implementation of the 38th Summit theme. Honorable Ministers, in our collective efforts to consolidate peace, stability, and democratic governance in our region, 6 of our member states have conducted peaceful elections, and we have to congratulate them, as they were already mentioned by the Secretary, the Executive Secretary. In that regard, once again, allow me to congratulate governments and the people of those 6 Sadc member states for holding credible and peaceful elections and for upholding the Sadc democratic principle. We are also pleased to have witnessed on the 6th of August 2019 the signing of the peace accord and peace pledge between the government of the Republic of Mozambique and the RENAMO in Maputo, Mozambique. The aim is to cease hostility in Mozambique and further consolidate peace and stability in our region. We congratulate the people of Mozambique for this important achievement. Honorable Ministers, our organization was born out of solidarity, and this has informed the holding and the outcome of the Sadc Solidarity Conference with the people of Western Sahara. To that end, it is our responsibility to ensure the full implementation of that conference declaration as our commitment to work with the people of Western Sahara to self-determination. Honorable Ministers, Sadc has kept its decision to have gender equality and women empowerment as a permanent item in our agenda. The year 2020 will mark the 25th commemoration of the declaration adopted at the Fourth World Conference on Women in 1995, held in Beijing, China, and the 20th anniversary of the UN Security Council Resolution 1325. As a region, Sadc has made great strides in this area. We have a story to tell and a contribution to make. We have to record that if there is any UN document where Sadc has played a central role, is the development and the adoption of the Beijing Platform of Action and Declaration, where personally, on behalf of Sadc, I served as Africa Chief Negotiator. Honorable Ministers, together with the international community, we have to take part in the activities of the year, and we must bring out significant contribution of our region that has made in the advancement of gender equality and women empowerment. Furthermore, 2020 will mark the 20th anniversary of the UN Security Council Resolution 1325 on women, peace and security that was initiated by Namibia in 2000. To this end, Namibia has undertaken to establish an international women's peace center aimed at, among others, strengthening women's participation on peace building and peacekeeping. We count on the Sadc countries to support us in this endeavor. Honorable Ministers, no doubt our region has made good progress in the economic integration of our region. However, and in line with the Sadc objectives to promote sustainable and equitable socio-economic growth and development, more still needs to be done on Sadc Industrialization Development Initiative. As I conclude, I would like to express my appreciation on behalf of the government and the people of the Republic of Namibia for the support and cooperation received from you, Honorable Ministers, and the Sadc Secretariat, led by Dr. Stogomena Lawrence-Tax, during our tenure, or my tenure, as Chair of the Council of Ministers in our promotion of the regional integration agenda of our regional organization, Sadc, in its efforts to improve the living standard of our people in all spheres. Indeed, the Sadc Secretariat continues to play an instrumental role in our work to deliver on our regional agenda, and we thank them for that. As I hand over the chairmanship to my brother, the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs and East Africa Cooperation of the United Republic of Tanzania and the incoming chair of Sadc of Council of Ministers, I am confident that he will continue to successfully advance Sadc's agenda, regional integration principle, and values. Honorable Minister, the incoming chair, please be assured of Namibia's readiness to work with you as you steer further our organization to the high heights. Once again, I thank the people of the United Republic of Tanzania and the government for their warm welcome hospitality and for the facilities that is telling us we are in for a successful meeting. I thank you, all of you, for your attention. Asanteni sana, karibuni kwa mkutano huu wa karibuni kwa mkutano huu wa waziri ya Sadc. Thank you, muito obrigado. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, outgoing Chair of Council. I'll be failing in my duties if I don't ask Member States to give another round of applause to the outgoing chairperson. Thank you very much. We'll now invite the incoming chairperson, who will soon be the chairperson of the Sadc Council of Ministers, Honorable Professor Palamagamba J.A.M. Kabundi, Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation in the United Republic of Tanzania. Yes, he's coming to receive the chair and then he will deliver the remarks. If I can invite colleagues from the media, if your camera is not sharp enough, this is your moment. You are allowed to come closer so that you capture this occasion.
Honorable Minister, it's now my honor to hand to you the chairmanship of the Sadc Council of Ministers. So this is what you have to use when we have to adopt. We will make sure you ham it, that means adoption. Now I ham it means I hand it over. Thank you very much. Asante sana.
Honorable Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of International Relations and Cooperation of the Republic of Namibia and the outgoing chairperson of Sadc Council of Ministers. Honorable Joseph Malanji, Foreign Minister of Zambia and Chairman of the organ. Dr. Stegobena Lawrence Tax, Executive Secretary of Sadc. Honorable Ministers, Dr. Faraji Kasidi Mnyepe, Chairperson of the senior officials, permanent secretaries, senior officials, Your Excellencies, ambassadors and the High Commissioners, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. It is with a lot of humility and gratitude to Almighty God that I stand before you on behalf of the government and the people of the United Republic of Tanzania. After 16 years since we hosted such a meeting, to welcome you again to Dar es Salaam, the haven of peace, and in particular to this building of Julius Nyerere International Convention Center, and to the session of Council of Ministers of the 39th Ordinary Summit of Southern African Development Community. Indeed, it's an honor, and we are grateful to host this summit after 16 years. The chairmanship we are assuming is a reminder to us Tanzanians, and probably many of you, of the modest role we played in the liberation struggle of Africa and the establishment of this august body, which is today Sadc, on principles of African unity and solidarity. To some of you, this city, Dar es Salaam, and many other places in Tanzania, such as Nachingwea, Kongwa, Mgagao, Mazimbu, and Kawa, and Morogoro, were bases for those fighting for liberation, and therefore holds a special place in your hearts. We were fortunate to host the forces of many movements, such as the People's Liberation Movement for the Liberation of Angola, MPLA, the African National Congress of South Africa, the Pan-African Congress of South Africa, the Mozambican Liberation Front Frelimo, the Zimbabwean African National Union ZANU, the Zimbabwean African People's Union ZAPU, and the Southwest Africa People's Organization SWAPO from Namibia, and many other organizations. We are not far away. It's a walking distance to the former headquarters of the OAU Liberation Committee. And I encourage you, when you have time, to go and visit the area, which is close to the Mozambican High Commission and opposite to the Egyptian Embassy. So, we are thrilled by your presence in Tanzania, Your Excellencies. This is an opportunity for some of you to trace your roots, refresh your memory on the liberation history, to visit the liberation historic sites, and pay tribute to those who died and were buried in Tanzania during the struggle. This year marks the 20th anniversary since the demise of Madam Julius Kambarage Nyerere, who passed on in London in October 20 years ago. We remember the role of the late father of the nation, Madam Julius Kambarage Nyerere, and other leaders of the frontline states and the Mulungushi Club for their contribution in our freedom struggle and the quest for unity. We should therefore be reminded of those who made it possible for us to meet today as Sadc, and their portraits are in our gallery. The three, Nyerere, Kaunda, and Obote, were the founders of the Mulungushi Club, and always they met in Lusaka to deliberate on how to support the liberation struggle in Southern Africa. And thereafter followed the frontline states, as you can see, again of Madam Julius Kambarage Nyerere, Kenneth Kaunda, Samora Machel, Serese Khama, and Augustino Neto. And again, many of their meetings were held in Lusaka. And this is why the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Namibia, who was Mama Swapo in Tanzania, he flew with Mwalimu in his plane more than Mwalimu's ministers. There are the founders of the South African Development Coordination Committee. So, honorable ministers, we welcome you to this beautiful, historic, and brother and sister country. We believe your stay in Tanzania will bring and strengthen the bond, the relationship that Tanzania has with your respective countries. In the words of Mwalimu Nyerere, and I quote, "Without unity, there is no future for Africa." Surely, our unity in the Sadc region is our strength. Karibuni sana, Tanzania. Honorable ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we take over the chairmanship of Sadc, on behalf of all ministers, I would like to thank the Republic of Namibia under the able leadership of His Excellency President Dr. Hage Geingob for overseeing Sadc activities successfully for the last 1 year. On your behalf, also I wish to thank the outgoing chairperson of the Council, my dearest sister, Honorable Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for International Relations and Cooperation of the Republic of Namibia, for her tremendous job, well done, in steering our sessions and the activities of Sadc over the last year. We've heard her submission, what Sadc has been able to achieve for the past 1 year. We are committed to build up on your achievement while advancing our aspiration for this year. As the incoming chair of the Council of Ministers, the United Republic of Tanzania assumes this responsibility with great honor, humility, and gratitude. We are aware of the responsibilities ahead of us, and we are ready to fulfill them with your support and the support of the Sadc Secretariat. Honorable ministers and distinguished delegates, the theme of the 39th Ordinary Summit of Sadc Heads of State and Government is a conducive environment for inclusive and sustainable industrial development, increased intertrade, and job creation. Your Excellencies, apart from being in line with the Sadc industrialization strategy and roadmap 2015-2063, the theme fits well to a number of industrialization strategies in our respective countries. As a chair of the Council of Ministers, we are set to operationalize the theme with your assistance and cooperation. This region needs industrial development for us to transform our economies, to enhance economic growth, to create more jobs, and reduce poverty. We are aware no country in the world has reached high economic and social development without having developed and advanced in the industrial sector. But we are also mindful that no country has done that on its own without the help, cooperation, and assistance of other countries. However, such an advanced industrial sector cannot be achieved if we in the Sadc do not take deliberate efforts to create a conducive environment in that regard. Our government's central role is the creation of an enabling policy and a regulatory environment for accelerated industrialization. During the course of this year and in the course of operationalization of the theme, we will emphasize on the need to access and improve our investment and the business environment in the light of industrialization. We have in place the Sadc industrialization strategy and roadmap. We need to assess how far we have mainstreamed it in our specific initiatives. We still need to engage in dialogue with private sector in the light of the role of our sustainable industrial development. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the very aim of our integration, among others, is to boost inter-regional trade. As I speak, inter-regional trade in Sadc countries is low, below 20%, hindering member states from realizing their economic potentials. Over the past few days, a lot has been said on factors that affect low trade volume in the Sadc region. Efforts to increase inter-regional trade through implementation of Sadc Protocol on Trade and the establishment of Sadc Free Trade Area must be hastened. Honorable Ministers, This meeting is taking place while there's a lot of pressure outside our region to form various kinds of free trade arrangements like COMESA, EAC, Sadc, Free Trade Area, and the African Continental Free Trade Area, in which we all participate. These efforts are very important, and they remind us to accelerate our integration process to match the momentum in order to remain ahead and focused on the objectives of our integration as we have always been. If we do not hasten our process, these changes happening outside will force us to run. I am aware that these issues have specific sectors to be considered, but since the Council is the heart for providing strategic direction on how Sadc should approach and move forward with all the unfolding dynamics, such as the rising unilateralism as opposed to multilateralism, I have no choice than speaking out now. Therefore, I hope the decisions and directives of this meeting will ensure our integration is not hampered by these dynamics of the world, and our regional integration will move forward to greater heights. Honorable Ministers, before I conclude, indeed I thank all of you for the messages of condolence and sympathies to the tragic accident that happened in Morogoro in the eve of our meeting. Indeed, we thank you all for your sympathies and for those messages, and may God bless you all for being touched with what has happened to our people here in Tanzania and in Morogoro. In conclusion, allow me to thank the permanent secretaries, senior officials, and the staff of Sadc Secretariat for the good work in preparing for this meeting. Their dedicated work has simplified our work today, and I believe it is going to be a meeting which will end successfully. Once again, I welcome you to Dar es Salaam and wish you a successful engagement during this session, and want to assure you I am your humble servant. I'm ready and prepared to serve you humbly and with a lot of humility. Once again, asanteni sana, muito obrigado, merci beaucoup, zikomo pambili, Galia Boha, Niabonga, and all the other languages of our blessed region. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, Professor Palamagamba Kabundi, who is our new chairperson of the Sadc Council of Ministers meeting. Allow me at this time to just request the member states to welcome the new chairperson by applauding and thank you very much. We're almost coming to the end of the session. Only 2 items on the agenda. We will have a short clip, a short video, which is just going to try and put an end note to some of the information that we've heard regarding our Sadc liberation. And this is also in line with our implementing council decision of promoting awareness on the Sadc liberation and the frontline freedom fighters. So if we could just have that video, it's a very short video. Thereafter, I'll come again to invite the honorable ministers for a family photo. The video, please. Thank you.
One man, one vote.
Há quem esteja a trabalhar ativamente para a balcanização do país.
I want to fight for my country.
Eu
and we make our people feel that they're one.
Everybody must be accorded his full political rights.
Secure progress.
We must be focused.
I can see Africa myself speaking as a continent.
Whatever the difficulties, Africa shall be at peace.
Against what? Against what must the struggle continue?
Contra tribalismo.
Against tribalism.
A luta continua.
And what else must we struggle against?
Contra ignorância.
Against ignorance.
Contra o analfabetismo.
Against illiteracy.
Contra a exploração do homem pelo homem.
Against exploitation.
Contra a superstição.
Against superstition.
Contra a miséria.
Against misery.
Contra a fome.
Against
Contra
hunger.
o peito escasso.
Against lack of clothing.
A luta continua.
The struggle continues.
For me, it was deep because it's like he was speaking into the future. So this is stuff that hadn't actually, like, in a big way happened, but it's happening now.
If you are being insulted and subjected to inhumanity, indignities, and you're a man, you're a human being, and this is being done to you by another human being, you can put up with this for some time, but you do it to a point where you feel you must resist and you must fight back.
Viva the spirit of Christianity! Viva!
This is the voice of Zimbabwe broadcasting on the Radio Mozambique in Maputo.
Well, the most important change in this country is that of our people recognizing themselves as one.
Everybody must be accorded his full political rights, whether he be white or black, educated or uneducated.
We have always attached such great importance to education because, in the first place, it is essential for the development of our struggle since the involvement and support of the population increase.
Há uma tentativa para, de qualquer maneira, destruir o equilíbrio ainda existente, embora bastante frágil.
Unity is necessary in all these countries. It has been proven in the case of the Congolese province. Where there has been unity, the advance to independence has been easy.
Africa's vast resources will be used by the Africans to secure progress and economic self-determination for the continent.
I'm so happy, I'm satisfied that Namibia is today independent, and the people of Namibia can now decide on their own destiny.
It has happened. What seemed impossible has happened.
Viva a independência do Zimbabwe!
We have been greeted extremely kindly by the people of Zimbabwe. They sing, they dance, and they say thank you to me because of what they believe Tanzania did for Zimbabwe.
If all the youth could find out the information that I found out in the past week, I think their perspectives would change about a lot of things. A lot of people feel like it's better to be on a pedestal by pushing someone else down. So that's an idea that needs to be taken out of our generation, because it's something that's like really, it's there.
I'm really encouraging the young people that we must be focused. That is very, very important. You do not do things for any appreciation. You do things because you believe it's the right thing to do.
To tell this history that people don't know, we should use the social media platform. Engage people as to what they know about history. We should just find a way to make it interesting histories. I don't think there's much to tell.
Thank you. I need not say much. I think the message was light and clear. It was meant to remind us where we came from, lest we forget where we're coming from as a region. We've come to the end of this official opening ceremony. I'll now be inviting the honorable ministers, all ministers, heads of delegation, and the high table for a family photo outside. The two colleagues, the protocol officers, are going to lead the ministers to the place that has been arranged for the photos. Thank you very much. When we come back, it will be a closed session, so my colleagues in the media, it was nice having you. We will have you again. So if you could just go outside and be ready with your cameras so that we find you outside.